Okay, you guys, we are back with another video. So it is 8:54 a.m. here in Kingston, Jamaica. I want to see how far this video reaches. So where are you located and what time is it in your area? Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the man of the hour, Stefan Diggs, because, honey, consistently, we're always getting some report, some update, some kind of rumor about this guy. And I mean, the guy definitely has a reputation. And as such, because he has one, and it's a frequent talk as it relates to him getting women pregnant, we're going to see these discussions consistently. I think we're really in for a treat with this guy. Now, who's pregnant this time around, you might be asking? Well, the chef, allegedly. The chef that he allegedly he paid for the BBL for. So in case you've missed it, honey, Stefan Diggs hired a chef who was living in. It's allegedly because there's no evidence to support such. He allegedly paid for her to get a BBL, right? Now, it is said that the chef was to work with him only for a few months, but then he extended it for the season. And based on some text messages that were revealed, you could definitely see that they had something more than a professional relationship going on. The text messages suggest that they have some level of intimacy going on. So, as such, it has been trending, and not because of just the text messages, but because he allegedly assaulted her, which is now a case, right? She has officially filed a police report. Now, I don't know where the internet is getting this one from, but they are alleging that the chef is pregnant. No, it's not far-fetched that she is pregnant, but it's just that we don't know if it is factual, if she's in fact pregnant. Why it is not far-fetched? It is because if you have been keeping up, you guys would know somewhere between the numbers of 4 to 6 women gave birth for Stefan Diggs last year. Cardib is amongst the list, right? It's somewhere between 4 and 6. Some people are saying 8. We really still don't know the true numbers, right? Two of the women took out a paternity case against him. One of them did so in the first trimester of her pregnancy, and she was saying she is very confident that he's the father, and she wants full custody. She wants him to pay for, her maternal responsibilities, hospital fees, and all of that jazz. So when she filed that court document, when she filed that lawsuit against that paternity, the current terminology is paternity lawsuit. When she filed that paternity lawsuit against Stefan Diggs, he then responded saying that if the child is in fact his, he wants joint custody. So if he gets joint custody, it would help to eliminate, some of his burdens to the mother, or some of the financial obligation to the mom. But I don't believe he is deserving of joint custody, because if you deny a pregnancy, I don't believe you're entitled to joint custody, especially knowing that if you've had intimacy with a female, whether protected or unprotected, because we know how that goes. No, I'm not saying that the guy should not protect himself, because there's a history. And this is a history of the NFL and the NBA. Women were hooking up with these guys. And even when these guys were using condoms and the condoms did not break, these women were sneaking the condoms out and getting doctors allegedly to do artificial insemination. And that was a thing in the early 2000s. It was a major thing. It was a major thing. So, maybe Stefan Diggs has questions and reservations. And because oftentimes if they're able to get these women easily, they might be like, oh, so if I got you that easy, who else did? That might be his attitude towards her. But the fact is that he denied this child right out. He's like, no, I need a paternity test. Not saying anything is wrong with that. So the paternity results were released just before Cardib gave birth for one of the child, which confirmed that he was in fact the father. I don't know what the end result of that agreement is. I don't know, because all of it was not made publicly available to us. But naturally, he would have to pay that girl some money. Now, fast forward to now, so you guys can see why this guy has a reputation. So now the internet is saying that the chef is with child and the child is for Stefan Diggs. I'm looking around and I'm diving through to see if I can get any additional information on this. There's no additional information, because I'm saying if people believe that the chef is with the child, I want to see or learn or read, find out where it's coming from. And if she's with the child, how far along is she, because I want to see if the timeline is matching, because that's also important. The timeline is a big deal. So I was looking at everything to see if the timeline was matching, to see if everything lined up and all of that jazz. But I'm not seeing any such information. So it can potentially be a mischief by the internet, because it's as though, okay, if he's with that girl, because that's normally how it goes. When you hear that he's with a girl, give it some time, you'll hear that the girl is with child for him. And that could be very well what the internet is using against him. It could be very well the case. But there's a part of me that feels as though the chef is not pregnant, and this could all be just a hoax. It could all be a public mischief. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how part of me feel. Like it's not real. They're just making it up, and it's just gonna turn out to be one big mischief. That's how I feel. But if I'm wrong, I definitely digress. But I'm gonna give you guys updated. Like I'm gonna be checking, I'm gonna be researching, because as you guys can remember, I told you guys that there was some drama coming up with him and about 4 other females. I don't know what's going on with the other 3 females. Were they paid to keep quiet? I don't know if that's the case. But it is said that the other 3 females, they're friends somewhat with the chef, and one of the female is allegedly is assistant that's in this smashing circle. As the chef said in that text message, it's a circus in his house. That's what the chef alleged. It's a circus in his house. But as time passes, as I've always said, every time I hear that these women are pregnant, I say, as time passes, we'll know if it's true or if it's false. The ones that we heard about last year, we could see where they were true. So with the chef, as time passes, we're going to have to wait and see if it is true or if it is false. But that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. And we're going to talk some more in the comment section. Peace.